that come up, thank you, Cindy. Any questions that come up during the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat for our presenters, and we will keep track of those, and then we will answer those at the end. We have a whole end section just for questions. And our slides will be shared at the end and this recording on our website. GetTherePortlandMetro.org is our website. So we have until noon today, and we are ready to get started. In this webinar, you will learn where to start to create a commute benefits program, and you will learn and understand which free resources are available and which solutions are the best fit for your workforce needs. We have great speakers today. We have Marnie Duke from Get There Portland Metro. We have Adriana Britton from TriMet, Michael Espinoza from the Portland Bureau of Transportation, and Carla Chen, Sustainability Lead at LAIKA Studios. So our first speaker is going to Marnie Duke from Metro, and take it away, Marnie.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Katie. As Katie said, my name's Marnie Duke. I am the program coordinator for Get There Portland Metro. But what that really means is that I work for Metro, the regional government, and then together with our partners and the Oregon Department of Transportation, we run the Get There Portland Metro program. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what that is in just a few minutes. But first, let's get started with the basics of what are commute benefits. So commute benefits are just like any other benefit that you provide your employees. They're perks that are designed to keep them happy and healthy and have good job satisfaction. And in the long run, that benefits both the employee and you, the employer. Commute benefits typically include a combination of the following. Most commonly, it's transit pass programs for those of you who have that available. And those are pre-tax benefits or a pass program where an employer could provide a free or a subsidized pass for commuters or the ability to purchase transit passes before tax. Adriana from TriMet is our next speaker, and she's going to tell you all the details about that. Another commute benefit that a lot of employers use are an incentive program. So those are monetary or other types of rewards for using travel options. So for carpooling, people who bike, use transit, or walk, or vanpool to work. These can be a regular reward or the opportunity to do a random prize drawing. For example, one of our partners, Bob's Red Mill, down in Milwaukee, their employees receive an extra $80 at last time we checked in with them per pay period if they report to not drive alone or use an electric vehicle for the majority of their trips to work. There's also programs around the country. I know that the city of Austin has their city employees can earn paid time off for logging their trips that were non-drive alone trips. Another commute benefit could be improving your end of trip facilities. So think of these as really a thank you to your staff who are not driving by themselves to work. Those could be a locker room where folks can change clothes, showers, having secure indoor bike parking, or also something as simple as priority parking for carpoolers, or if you have paid parking, allowing a discount for carpooling. Another component is emergency ride home. A lot of folks who use travel options or who are thinking about using travel options but have not tried it yet, one of the things that they list as a concern is what if they have an emergency? You know, their kid gets sick at school and they need to go pick them up. And what this entails is a voucher then for an employee to then go to their employer and be able to use a ride-hailing a service to be able to get home or wherever else that they might need to go. Another benefit, something most of us have become really familiar with over the last 5 years, is remote and hybrid work policies or compressed schedules. These allow workers to skip the commute to work altogether, either every day or a couple of days a week, and work from home, or do a compressed work week where they're only commuting 3 to 4 days a week, but working a longer period of time. And then lastly, really one of the most important things that needs to be a part of a commute benefit program that goes with all of these is the promotion of travel options at your work site. So really creating a culture that supports getting to work besides driving alone. And it's really kind of the glue that holds all of these commute benefits together. All right, next slide. Great. And I have, there you all are, thanks. So why do employers offer commute benefit programs? I think, again, when you benefit your employees, it has direct benefits back to the employers. Different commute benefits foster happier, healthier workforces. It decreases your staff turnover due to poor commutes or unreliable transportation. 70% of employees would have reported that they would switch employers for a better benefits package, including commute benefits. And that work-life balance really reduces your employees' commute stress, has less burnout, and leads to higher job satisfaction and lower turnover rates. There's real-time savings as well. So for the employer, the cost savings include pre-tax benefits, reducing your payroll tax burdens, and reducing that parking demand and any of the related costs that you might have around maintaining parking or subsidizing parking. And employees, of course, benefit. They shows that workers who take public transit to work regularly over driving save an average of $13,000 a year annually. That's a lot of money. All right, next slide. Great. And I'll tell you a little bit about Get There Portland Metro and the work that we do. We, as I said earlier, are sponsored by Metro, which is the regional government, and the Oregon Department of Transportation. We're a relatively new program, and our main directive is to connect you with the many organizations like my fellow speakers here today who provide free support to our Portland metro area employers. And we provide tools and resources and personalized support that can help reduce drive alone trips in the region from the commute trip. And then to the employers, we offer free help with planning, training your staff, connecting you with other regional resources, and the promotional materials to kind of, as I said earlier, build that culture around drive alone trips or around using travel options. Our program directly that we can support you with. We have our website, which we'll put in the chat. There's lots of on our resources page to be able to download free materials that can really help you get started to find out what are the basics around if I wanted to do a transit pass program or start a van pool at my work site, and give you tips on how to kind of sell that internally and show the benefits to the people who will be making those decisions. We have other resources as well. We have news and events and opportunity to sign up for The Shift, which is the statewide newsletter for employers to learn about what's happening around commute benefits. So we'll also, and speaking of that, we can help Get There Portland Metro staff can help you sign up for a Get There network, which can help your employees find carpool matches. We'll set up a network that's just for your work site, for your employees to find other staff who they might be able to carpool with. It's a great place to be able to implement an incentive program either on your own or join an incentive program that might be existing in your area. And your staff can find resources and do trip planning and things like that at the website as well too. For select employers, we create a comprehensive commute trip reduction recommendation, which we have a picture here, is the Commute Solutions Kit. So, for example, we recently worked with an employer down in Clackamas called Commute, and they're a manufacturing facility. They're a little far outside of a frequent service transit area. So we worked with them to set up a Get There network and promote carpooling, and then also the free Clackamas County shuttle that runs right by their location. And in the kit, they had a variety of different things to choose from, under no obligation to do any of them, but things that were no cost, low cost, and then some other recommendations that were might require some investments for them. And then we can help you as well with that personalized custom promotional material to build that culture of using travel options, things that you could put up in your break room or use in emails or other communications that you have with your staff. We're happy to help you meet to create those and have them for your use. So we're a great place to get started if you're really new to commute benefit programs. Like I said, primarily we're here to connect you with our with the other organizations who can help you with the real meat of commute benefit programs, like TriMet, who is up next. And Katie, I'll hand it off to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Marnie. That's great. Next, we're going to hear from Adriana Britton, who works at TriMet, and she's the commute benefits program in the commutes benefit program. I'm sorry, in the transportation option coordinator at TriMet. Thank you, Adriana, for being here.
Thank you, Katie. And thank you, Marnie, for the softballs on some of these items. But TriMet, we're the transit district for the Portland Metro region. So employers can offer transit passes to their employees, and their employees can travel from very different parts of the region to the work site. So we have employers of all sizes offering commute benefit programs, and they vary. Employers can tailor them based on what they need and where they're located. So some employers may have parking available that's free, but still they may find that some employees would like to bike, transit, e-scooter their way to work. So it's easy to tailor a program around your situation and your employees' needs. So, and by employers of all sizes, we have small nonprofit organizations, hotels, we have architect firms, small banks, hospitals, and larger healthcare facilities. So there are employers of all sizes that offer different types of commute benefit levels. One place to start, and I'm actually going to talk about it a little bit more on the next slide, is a commute survey. But once you've done that, those are really helpful. You can decide whether you want to offer a pre-tax transportation payroll deduction for your employees. And that's where the employee pays for their transit passes, but the money is taken out of their payroll by pre-tax dollars. So you save a little bit on FICA savings if you're an employee. And the employee saves a little bit because they're also not getting taxed on those dollars. So that's all done through either a benefits or payroll provider. You can also, as an employer, offer a subsidy for transit passes, and it's not taxed as payroll. There's a handy little IRS publication that has a really long name, and I can tell you about it later. You can email me at the contact information that we'll share at our second screen, and we can send it to you if you want. You can also, as an employer, offer incentives, things like challenges through the GetThereOregon.org platform. There's a bike challenge. You can also set up walking and taking transit and ride sharing. So there are different ways to offer incentives. As Marnie mentioned, one of the really easy things to do is to have priority parking for carpool people. So that's one way of doing things. Also, if let's say you don't have parking available and you want to encourage people to carpool together, and you have a situation such as an industrial business, Industrial businesses can also look at whether allowing people to change their shift will help them carpool together. So employers have all sorts of ways, and we can help you identify some of those ways that you can offer commuting to your employees. Flexible schedules, Marnie mentioned earlier, such as compressed work weeks and working from home. Also aligning a schedule a little bit with maybe a transit time. So I'm now coming in a little bit earlier, so I adjusted my schedule based on the transit schedule that I have. Next slide, please. So TriMet does offer transit pass programs, and our transit passes work across the region. So on our TriMet buses, the light rail, we have a commuter rail also called West. It's on the west side. And if you provide passes to your employees, they'll be able to hop on a bus, they'll be able to hop on light rail. They can also ride the Portland streetcar with that pass. So a single pass will help people ride throughout the region. And the pass that you provide to your employees can be used on weekends for fun. So people can get the most out of their pass. And TriMet does offer an emergency ride home. We have a program where if an employer offers a subsidy of at least $10 per month per employee, they can enroll in our program and we'll cover a cab ride within our transit region. So let's say a person rode transit to work and then they get the call from school that their child is sick and they need to get to their child right away. So they can use that emergency ride home cab voucher. We have a provider set up to provide those rides. And TriMet has lots of transportation information. So information, materials, resources. We have a brochure for new employees called a new employee kit, but it's a brochure that tells employees what's available to them in our region for getting around work. We can also tell you about resources for employees who are looking to move, new employees who are looking to move into the region, about how to decide whether an apartment has a great walk score, things like that. So we can give you tips, local information, and that'll help you get your new employees riding transit or biking or carpooling. So those are really easy things to offer. We also can come on site to an employer. I have a transportation fair next week at an employer event, and we can come to your benefits fairs and do a table and talk with your folks about what they want to do or how they want to get to work. And of course, we can give them all sorts of tips about riding transit in the metro region. We can do virtual transportation fairs as well, online, however an employer wants to do things. And the last thing is the commute survey. We have a free app at TriMet. It's an online commute survey. And I think it's one of the best ways to find out what to offer employees because we collect how employees are getting to work and what they're interested in. So, and once we give you a report, it helps an employer make a decision about whether to offer a pass program, whether to offer a subsidy, whether their employees want to carpool, all sorts of information. So those are really useful and they're free. So the way to contact us is either by email. You can also call us, and we have a web page set up, trimet.org/employers. And that web page has information about the past programs that we offer. Plus there's a web form that can be submitted. So for example, I received this morning an inquiry from an employer who submitted the web form, and they wanted to know what we can offer their employees for a transportation program. And that's primarily what I have today, and I'm so happy to be here and answer any questions that folks have.
Excellent. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Katie.
much, Adriana. And we put in the chat, we're keeping some of the links and things that panelists are mentioning in the chat, so check that out. Next, we have Michael Espinoza from the city of Portland to share with us about what tools you have available.
Hey there, thanks for having me today. Michael Espinoza from City of Portland, where I work as a transportation demand management specialist in our Bureau of Transportation. My work really centers around helping people in Portland to walk, bike, take transit, and carpool for their everyday trips. So I'm going to share some of our free resources that we offer to you as employers so you can bolster your commute benefits programs. The first resource we offer is one-on-one consultation support, where we can work with you on strategies to address your specific transportation challenges, whatever that may be. We'd love to meet and learn about what issues you're facing. Perhaps you're running out of parking, and buying parking space can be really expensive, especially based if you're like located in the central city. Those costs can really escalate quickly. And so, there's an inherent incentive there in wanting to support employees to choose other modes of getting to work. So we're here to help think through those strategies and put a game plan together. We can create a customized plan for your organization that is really site specific to your employee needs and business needs. And then we can leverage our connections and know how to create a game plan that can be delivered at low or no cost. Oftentimes, it's just a little bit of staff time that goes a long way, sending some emails and making announcements at organizational meetings or company events and things like that, that can really push forward the messaging that can really earn you great results. And then let's see. Okay. And then we can also connect you, based on your location and where you are and your goals. We have a lot of city-led events that you can leverage to your benefit as well. So we offer a variety of city-led programs. We have designed these programs to really help people overcome mental barriers to using other modes of transportation. And so maybe there's somebody who's like interested in biking, but not sure where to begin, or they've been curious about carpooling, or they're like not sure about riding transit. And so we've really built out different campaigns, marketing strategies, and programs that help meet people where they are and help move them to that next plane where they can prepare to take those actions. So we really use like different behavioral science insights to nudge people to try out these new modes of transportation. This year, for example, we hosted a monthly bike ride to downtown where we had 9 routes coming in from all different parts of Portland that converged downtown in the morning. And you may have heard about bike buses for children going to school. And this is the same thing, except instead of children riding to school, it's adults riding together to downtown. And so it's a fun experience with music, and we have a little celebration at the end, right at Salmon Springs on the beautiful waterfront. And often the fountain is on and looking gorgeous. And so it's really a moment to celebrate the commute and foster positive social connections around biking to work. And especially for people new to biking or new to biking downtown or biking to work for the first time, it's a great social way to get plugged in and have a space to ask questions about how to make a commute by bike work for whatever their circumstances. There's people there who have that firsthand knowledge of how, they're making it work for themselves and their schedule. And so just being able to talk with those people and see also like the different kinds of bikes that are there. There's cargo bikes, there's people, that, bring their children as well. So like you can kind of see the breadth of how different people are making a commute by bike work for them. So it's a program that's easy to share with your employees. We call it the City Bike Bus. And not only does it help people, bike and get to work, but it doubles as a fun team building activity. So, it's kind of like sneaking in what otherwise might be a frustrating or lonely car commute. You turn it into an event and into a team building activity. So we've been having a lot of fun and a lot of success with that program. For example, we worked with Portland General Electric to get flyers and information about this program to their employees. And so it's collateral and materials that we developed here in-house, and then we're just able to send that over digitally or print it out and provide it. And so in a way, you have this like program that you can just leverage, and it's there ready for you and your employees and your community to participate in. So it costs nothing to the employer. And we're able to, ride together and participate in a fun bike bus movement, which is having a lot of exciting traction in the city right now. We also offer a suite of digital and print resources that are easy to get into the hands of your employees. We have walking and biking maps for the city, and we have specialized ones for each of the different neighborhood areas. We have guides for how to get started navigating the city by foot. Or by transit or by biking. And we can also create custom recommendations for your location about like which of these resources or what messages would really resonate with your community and your employees. And then, like Adriana mentioned, for TriMet, we're also happy to come be on site for employee wellness days or benefit days or transportation fairs and speak with employees about their commute options and offer advice on transit and biking routes. We can also support your firm to set up a carpool strategy if you have employees coming from farther out. We find that's really successful. And let's see, overall, we can support you with your commute program needs and deciding what the next strategic step is. Like, there's so many different resources that you can utilize and take advantage of. And so we're really there to help be a thought partner to think about like, okay, this can be our next step or our focus, for this quarter. And then we can, support you with that. And then maybe we have a conversation again where we think about, okay, we're into the winter months now. What does it look like to support employees during this season? So we're really happy to be that partner in helping decide what the next step is. And then maybe there's other transportation needs that come up, maybe related to bike parking, or the city has different infrastructure projects that are happening throughout the city. So there's also opportunities to weigh in on those as they're in different stages of development. So we're happy to plug you into those opportunities as well. And then sometimes there's special events that happen. And for example, we were working with Powell's Books on their warehouse sale. We heard some challenges last year. It was a wildly successful sale last year, but there were backups onto Highway 30 and people were getting stuck in bumper to bumper traffic. And so just navigating around the Northwest Warehouse District became really challenging. So we worked with them this year to develop some strategies that they utilize, like time-based entry. So people had an assigned ticket time where they would arrive. So that helped disperse the demand of when people were trying to arrive. And then we also worked with them to highlight traffic and congestion in some of their outgoing materials so that people were able to start thinking about how they were going to get there and knew to expect that. And so that alone too is a powerful move in helping people to reconsider, how they were getting there. If they do need to drive, carpooling with people is really promising, or choosing a bike or transit alternative. And so we really worked with them to also highlight those local transit options so that people had an easy way to get plugged in so that they could plan their route there. So that's a little summary of all the things that we offer and free resources, and we'd love to work with you. You can get in touch with us at commute@portlandoregon.gov, and I look forward to hearing from you. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Michael. And we'll put that email address in the chat as well. Next, we're going to hear from Marnie and Carla. Marnie's going to do an interview with Carla Chen, who is a sustainability lead at LAIKA.
Great, welcome. Awesome, thank you. Thanks for joining us, Carla. I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and while you're at it, if you can give us an overview of LAIKA and tell us about your commute program and what it entails.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Scarlett Chen. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a sustainability lead at LAIKA. And LAIKA is a stop motion animation studio located in Hillsboro, Oregon, Washington County. We have a little bit over 550 employees right now, and we are spread between 6 buildings in the complex. If anybody is familiar with the work that Leica does, or if you watch the movies, many things that you see on the screen is made in-house by our amazing artists. And we for example, from the puppet's armature, from the puppet's skin, puppet's hands, puppet's hair, visual effects, rigging, many things is done on site. And that's why we do need the most of our employees to commute to work. And we also have a few that are hybrid and remote, but unfortunately, from uh, the type of work that we do that is very unique, we do need employees to be on site. But we do offer a few of alternative transportations that I'm happy to share. We have electrical vehicle charging at cost for employees. We right now have 21 EV chargers. We offer, I think Adriana mentioned the TriMet subsidy. So we offer 50% discount on the TriMet subsidy, and employees is the monthly pass. So employees get to ride the whole month and only pay 50% of that. We have our annual bike repair and tune-up. We partner with a local nonprofit in Washington County that help us with that. Employees love to dust off their bikes on the spring to get ready for the season, and it's most likely, we hope that they will use their bikes to commute to work. We have the bike borrowing program. We offer a few bikes where employees can book the bike and use to exercise, to run an errand, or even recently this summer we had a couple employees that were remote, but they needed to be on site, so they were commuting come from their hotel to Leica using
Oh,
the
nice.
bike for the week. So that was a good use of the bike borrowing program. And last but not least, we have our carpool program that is, I think, the most popular. We offer incentive if you are a driver and you have one passenger, you get $50 incentive per month. If you have two or more passengers, $100 incentive per month. And I think that's all oh, yeah. Since I was hearing Adriana mentioning about showers, but we do provide showers like fully stocked with like towels, shampoo, soap, that I believe can help also with if employees decide to bike here. That could be a benefit that I wasn't counting for, but now I learned.
Nice. That's great. That's really great, Carla. Thank you for that recap. Um, what kind of steps did you go through to decide that this was the right suite of benefits to offer your employees?
Mhm. So when I started, we did had a few of those programs in place already, but a few the bike borrowing, the bike repair that I implemented, I would say the first, and I also heard from our speakers today, employee feedback and engagement is essential part of the commute benefit. So we need to hear what they are looking for. So I can come up with some ideas, but it might not be what the majority wants. So first, get that survey. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have, I think if you are employer and you have over 100 employees, you have the employee commute option survey. Even if you don't, I highly recommend you doing one. I think he always come up with like great feedback, and that's how we learn how we can improve those programs. So first step, I guess, getting the employee feedback. Second step, it sounds like maybe too labor intense, but a feasibility study. It's basically put a proposal together. Let's see all that might entail, so including budget, including how many people likely. So you're going to have the survey, right? So you're going to know how many people likely will be impacted by that. You can define responsibilities, who is going to be, who is going to be responsible for that, what steps you need to take, and what are the benefits. So especially for sustainability, I always tie in our sustainability goals and overall mission for LAIKA, like how can I tie that together, usually is a great step. And third, I would say that is reviewing with other departments, definitely getting some inputs, and they might flag some important things that you must considering.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm taking lots of notes and I'm going to take that for an outline. That's
Nice.
great. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you.
Um, let's see next. Well, and speaking of, it sounds like it's something that you guys are tracking, which is great. What kind of benefits are you seeing from your programs?
Yes. Employee retention and even hiring. I get some questions from our recruiters. Hey, can we, what we offer, or can this person, for example, I received a question about the type of charger that we have, if the employee can plug in. So definitely is something that people looking for a job is looking for some of those benefits. Employee satisfaction. Honestly, I think this is number one priority for us. We do have a very unique work, so we do one of those specific arts to work here. So we need to make that easy for them to come to work, and also they will probably work more efficient as well. And for me, sustainability, like the indirect emissions, is scope 3. So that's also another benefit of having those programs in place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you mentioned sustainability. So while a lot of times when we are doing commute benefit programs, we're working with HR professionals, but more and more working with people who are working in leading, kind of green initiatives, sustainability initiatives. What are some ways that you have collaborated and worked with other departments within LAIKA?
Yes. So I would say all sustainability programs are reviewed by different like key people in here, but departments like people and culture, that is our HR, administrative services, facilities, they all get to review and approve that. And as I mentioned, I think, but they definitely flag potential like roadblocks or things that might not work as well. And payroll, for example, for the TriMet passes, if we're going to discount on their paycheck. So we need to have that communication and that back and forth, that team collaboration, and definitely works great. So yeah, very dependable on other departments, especially
Mhm.
HR.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have to you're already working with those departments on kind of helping to push the ideas of sustainability and having that be on their radar as well too.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. All right. I think we're going to wrap up with Carla, unless you want to tell us anything else, anything we might have missed.
Um, Nothing that come in mind, but I'm open
Okay.
to questions.
Great.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
We
Let's.
do have some. Thank you, Marnie and Carla. We'll
Thank
go to the
you.
questions. So if you have any, feel free to put them in the chat, but we do have a few ready to go from folks. So I'll just throw this out to the group and then you can decide kind of what works best. For businesses who want to start a program but have a limited budget, what's the most cost-effective first step that any of you would recommend for folks on a limited budget? Adriana, go ahead.
Hi, that is an excellent question, and I get asked that so much because, everybody is looking to provide something to their employees, but there isn't always the budget necessarily available. So one of the first things that can be done is to provide a pre-tax transportation benefit through payroll. That doesn't cost the employer, unless you have a payroll provider that wants to add a fee, but usually the payroll providers can offer that service without much effort or fees. So that's one place to start. Another thing might be, a $10 minimum per month subsidy per employee, just offering that, making it available. And then if you do, you can qualify for TriMet's free emergency ride home program.
Great. Anyone else want to weigh in on how folks get started with a program, even if they have a limited budget?
I'll chime in. In some of the campaigns I was talking about, like I think an easy way to get started is to take some of that information around a specific campaign. So, for example, like we'll have Bike Month in May of next year. And so just taking some of those materials and sending it out. You can sort of then gauge interest and see who is interested in this type of work, because likely you'll find some people across the organization, who are excited about that challenge. And so, from that, I think it's a nice way to kind of find out who else in the organization is excited about sustainable commutes and sustainable travel, and you can sort of start to grow, some culture and have some like partnership in that work. And so I just feel like that's a great first step to also know like who else is excited about this type of work, because it doesn't have to rely on one person, but finding your allies is really great.
Excellent.
Yes, I was going to say kind of the same thing. The Eco Challenge partnering with local organizations. I forgot to mention, but we do partner with West Side Transportation Alliance. Very helpful, a lot of resources. And I mean, I think Adrienne also mentioned and Metro and Get There. The Eco Challenges are really fun and get the engagement. Another thing that works for me is sometimes do a trial run. Like, hey, we're going to do that until the budget is over. So it's just the way that you communicate. Hey, this is a trial. And then you show to leadership, like, hey, this went great. We used that in 2 months. Can we, have budget? Can we expand this program? So I guess getting data always help to show metrics, how effective that was. Yeah.
Great. Marnie, anything to add on that one for folks on limited budget?
Yeah, I think just signing up for a Get There network, and we can do that for free. And then it's just there kind of waiting for your employees to start populating, and we can get you promotional material for free to put up in your break rooms with like a really easy QR code for folks to scan, and they can sign up on their phone and see if they have carpool options. Because it is carpool, the more people involved, the better that you chances have that. So even finding low cost ways to incentivize that as well too is great.
And would the first step for folks there be to email you to reach out?
Yeah. Email us and we'll set you up with a Get There network.
Excellent. Another question, for areas with limited transit access or say non-traditional schedules, manufacturing, healthcare, what options might work best for businesses outside of, what we kind of talk about as like the urban core or sort of city of Portland, folks that are a little bit further out, maybe on alternate schedules and shift working?
I'll jump in. There is more and more it's still fixed route transit, but more and more community shuttles. And we have those. Those are on the Get There website as well too, where folks can find. There's shuttles. I think there's now 5 different shuttles in Clackamas County. There's 2 more out in East Multnomah County, and Washington County has several community focused shuttles as well too. And those are really great connectors that often will get folks from a frequent service transit to other more outlying areas. And then again, I'll push Get There as well too. Like Carla had said, carpooling is really popular for them, and we're seeing it increase in popularity. And the Get There network is free and a really great way to for folks to find a carpool match.
Yeah, that's great. And I'll just add quickly too, like within the Portland area, there's some specialized shuttles as well that go to Swan Island and to the industrial area along by the airport. The Access Shuttle from Multnomah County has been doing great things there too. And so just like getting in touch, we can help get you connected and plugged into those different resources, really based on where you are, and we can go from there.
Excellent. Adriana, did you want to say anything or add anything on that one?
I think a good starting place is, as Marnie mentioned, is the GetThereOregon.org platform, because it's free and employees can start using it right away. And as Marnie mentioned, a network can be created for an employer's work site. So employers that have one work site or multiple work sites, you can set that up for your employees, and that way who's, they can connect together more easily and find each other. And then the other thing that's free is being able to align work schedules together for people who can carpool. And so those are really good resources.
Great. I think we'll take one more question. What is a more common hurdle that businesses encounter when starting a benefits program? And do you have any suggestions for how folks can navigate that as a more common possible hurdle?
I'll chime in on, I guess, managing different programs. I used to do all of those by myself as of like, I think March this year that I got a coordinator and I got more help, but sometimes can be a lot of labor intense to keep track of the communication and who signed up and getting the incentive. So I think having help or make more optimize this. And now we do have like already like schedule survey that goes monthly for who sign up, a distro list. There are a few tools that I kind of learned along the way that make it easier, but I would say that I think is a little, I would say like maybe a week of the month that you get some numbers and some names together.
So it also sounds like you're saying kind of planning for the time you know you're going to spend and carving out that time.
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll add on to Carla's. I know, at least at my own personal work place, that a lot of what happens for us around travel options happens through through regular staff who are part of our green team. So if you have kind of like interest group teams at your workplace, or you want to start one, I believe we have a resource on the Get There Portland Metro website about commute champions. And there's nothing more exciting than someone who loves to ride their bike and how they love to talk to other people and help other people ride their bike. They're always really great evangelists. And so while a lot of times some of the technical things like purchasing transit passes and things like that need to be done through HR or through payroll, a lot of the promotion and the building of the culture and getting programs off the ground can be done through just really enthusiastic staff members.
Great, thank you. Adriana, anything else to add about kind of common hurdle that folks might encounter and how to overcome that?
Yes, Carla was talking about budgets, budgeting for programs and incentives. And TriMet can help you do that. We can give you cost comparisons of different transit pass programs. We like to do the survey, which is free, so it's a starting point. So getting leadership buy-in, a lot of times you need to have hard numbers and budgets and things like that. So we can help you scope out what something might look like. And then, then we can help you with making those decisions about aligning what transit benefits or commute benefits you want to provide based on what you're able to scope out for a budget. And leadership support is always great.
Excellent.
Katie, we do have a question in the Q&A for Adriana. I can read it out. It's with the recent plan cuts for public transit. How are how are businesses planning on continuously promoting non-SOV trips?
Yes, that is a factor that we work on. That is also a great reason to have TriMet come to your work site and at your events, benefits events, because we can talk with your employees. And we can help them know where we are with stages. Right now, there's a survey that's out where we're collecting information, and there will be some stages where we go back out to the public. So employers, if they can help us share the information to their employees, that's a great starting point. We have an employer newsletter plus other modes where we can help get information out to employers so they can share this information with their employees. Generally, right now we're in the collecting information phase, so we don't have a lot of prescriptive information about what is going away, other than right now it's we're reducing some trips in the evening for frequent service in November. But for employers, if you want information to share with your employees, we'll happily get that to you. We'll also very willingly come out and talk with your employees and make sure that your employees are able to get feedback to us. So that is wonderful. So we love working with employers and helping employees use the available service.
And I put a link for the survey in the Q&A section for anybody who wants to use it for the survey.
Great. Thank you. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up. We have one last slide that we were going to share with all of the contact info. We hope that you will join us for the next webinar in this series in January. That will likely be about rideshare, including carpools and van pools. So look for that coming to you through the Shift newsletter is one way, or through our transportation partners. And then, as we said, all of this information and a lot more is available at getthereportlandmetro.org. And then here is the contact information for the folks who presented today. And Marnie is a great contact to reach out to. If you have any questions at all, we can triage that and send that out to our partners. We are a little bit early, so I think that we'll just take that as, you can take that all as some extra lunchtime. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you to our presenters. We really appreciate your time, and thank you, Carla, from LAIKA. Appreciate that.
Thank you,
all.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.